Hey everybody, Jimmy here with the Triple C Collective for another Superhero Saturday. That's right, we've arrived to the season finale of Miss Marvel. I have absolutely loved this series. I really liked it. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to talk about this episode. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into it. We get the cold open of basically the last like few minutes of what would have been ending off episode 5 after the explosion of the Circle Q. We have damage control there. They're trying to lock down, put up the police barricades all around the streets and stuff, trying to clear it out and figure out where Bruno and Cameron went. And we see that they're like moving through the train. They've made themselves like question. I like how? I don't know. Like that looked like a pretty big explosion. I would have expected the floor to like fall through and then be like super hurt. But you know what? Here at the same time, like we know Cameron has his mom's powers similar to like what Kamala has, so he could have, I guess, in theory, put them in like a little Norlight ball or whatever, or like broken their fall or whatever. Possibly, maybe, whatever. Either way, we just get them going through the train. Damage control actually finds them on the train, and we have like a little like run in interaction here. Like Cameron like shoots stuff like out the side of the train and like through like the like walkway middle here and stuff, and it's like pretty crazy. It's pretty awesome. These first few like opening minutes here of this episode, and then once damage control is like on the train, that like Cameron and Bruno, it's basically like a cut. Really quickly, we get to the Marvel title sequence. We see the Statue of Liberty, which doesn't have a shield, which could be either pre Spider-Man No Way Home or post Spider-Man No Way Home, because like the Statue of Liberty, because it fall like I'm talking about Cap shield on the Statue of Liberty here. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that we don't see that on the Statue of Liberty. We just see the normal like flaming torch, and but in No Way Home, like we saw them trying to put Cap shield on there, or like building Cap shield on there, and then obviously it falls down. So I'm wondering where all these stories are taking place, because until like Multiverse Madness, we didn't really know where like WandaVision and all, like we weren't 100% sure where all of this stuff is. Maybe WandaVision we knew a little bit more. Same with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but like it's all been kind of convoluted, along with like Shang-Chi and stuff. Like I don't know where that takes place. I'm getting way off topic here. Back here, no shield on the Statue of Liberty, so I'm not sure if this is if Miss Marvel takes place pre No Way Home, where there wouldn't have been a shield being added, or if this is still post No Way Home, where they maybe haven't started the rebuild of the shield again. Not entirely sure. Either way, Kamala's back at her house with her family, like her dad, brother, and sister-in-law, and she's like, hey, I need to tell everybody like something, like as they're all like holding up the different clothes and like different gifts that they all like got to, that Kamala and her mom brought back. And it's like the classic family thing here, is like what it is like she's getting ready. Kamala finally has the courage to tell everyone in her family, like all at once, like aside from her mother already knows, but is getting ready to tell her family that she is, Nightlight, terrible name, but that she is the Light Girl. And so she tells them, and there's no like uproar of shock or anything. And Kamala's like, you guys, you all already knew, didn't you? And her brother Amir does a great thing of like, well, it's the con chain of communication here. Mom Ami calls Abu, who is listening to the call on speakerphone, which we overhear, and so now we're here. And it's just such a classic, like that's such a real thing to happen in families, like. And it's just so funny. He's like, but the speakerphone, it's just so convenient. Like, their dad. It's so awesome. I love it. It's so great. Miss Marvel has been just such a fun show. I love it. Her brother also gives her a little bit of like gives her a little bit of razz, being like, so dropping the kid on Eid, was that like part of the plan, or was that a game time decision? She actually her sister-in-law asks a really good question, like, are your powers like limitless, or do you have to like recharge and stuff, which I think is a solid question to ask, especially with the idea of like what we've seen Kamala's powers be, like the the refracting like Nor light basically. So like that's a really good question, and like they go through all of that, and it's really awesome. It's a great little like family scene here. Her dad is absolutely the best. He's the best in this episode. Like especially at the beginning and at the end here. Well, I won't spoil that yet, but he's the best. And at least in this episode, he just stands out so much to it. Not saying that nobody else does. It's just like, I don't know. Everybody wants Kamala's dad as their own dad. And so her dad's really proud, but he's like, I want to make sure, I'm very proud of you. This is incredible that you've got this power. I wish nothing more for you than to have this, but it's talking about responsibility here, like we're getting like the like Uncle Ben angle, for lack of a better term here, of like like I want to make sure that like this stuff is incredible. There's no denying it. It's awesome that you have this. I'm so happy that like you have this and you can do this. But he's also like, I want to make sure you're not like looking for trouble, that you're not like going out there basically doing the flip of like trying to start a fight and stuff, that like you're being safe, you're trying to protect people, and it's a great little conversation that they have here, and I love it. And like Kamala's answer is like, I am not trying to start fights with anyone, but you also didn't raise me to just sit back and watch people be hurt when I can do something. And her father's like, fair, like you got me, kind of thing. It's really great. Then Nakia FaceTimes Amir and is like, why is she trying to FaceTime me? Kamala grabs the phone, and this is where Kamala finds out that the Circle K has exploded and that Bruno and Cameron are like missing, MIA, trying to like be tracked down by damage control and everything. So Kamala starts calling Bruno, and it's going straight to his voicemail, and Kamala gets ready to go out to help find Bruno and Cameron and make sure that they're safe. And her mom stops her and is like, you're not going out there like that. And her mom takes open a box, and it is the Miss Marvel suit that we've seen Kamala in all of the like posters and stuff, and like different promos and everything. And it's been awesome. And seeing this was great, because at the end of episode 5, when we see the broken necklace, we get the like Miss Marvel like lightning bolt basically that we have there, and here Kamala's mom like made it a part of her, like made it like a crest almost or whatever, however you want to do it, like and call it a design on her there, mimicking that broken necklace that she had. So like that was really great. That was really cool. She has the scarf. She puts the scarf around it and everything around her. And, you know, then with the mask that Bruno made her, she now has her costume. She can go out there and, like, protect her identity and protect the people now. And it's really awesome. So she goes out there, goes to the suit, and it's awesome. Kamala heads out and starts looking for him. We cut to Bruno and Cameron. Bruno and Cameron, they got to the mosque, or they get to the mosque. They explain to Nakia what happened, that they need, like, you know, it's also a weird thing that, like, Bruno, man, like, you know that that your friend's mosque is, like, being surveilled by like damage control and stuff, that they came waltzing in there once before looking for like Kamala and like were super disrespectful and everything about that. So you know there's already and like Nakia, to be fair, absolutely like like repeats this back, like, are you serious? Like damage control is surveilling us, like the GCPD is probably surveilling us, hell, the like Department of Sanitation is probably surveilling us. And he's like, but this is a place of worship. You're supposed to offer like sanctuary. It's like, Bruno, you could have gone to someplace else. Beside the point. So he gets there. Obviously, Nakia comes in. Sheikh Abdullah and everyone there is going to lend them a hand, obviously, because they know that they are not bad people. That there is clearly something bigger going on here, but they give them refuge, and it's awesome. I love it. I love bringing them like here, and then Nakia like comes up with the plan of, all right, we'll keep you here, but we're gonna make our way to the high school. And they're like, why go to the school? Why go to high school? Because it's the only place guaranteed to be abandoned on a Saturday. And then both Bruno and Cameron and like was like, you're not wrong. It seems like that idea, but I don't know. When I was in high school, we had Saturday detention, but I guess it's this is like late Saturday night and stuff, like early or like late afternoon, early evening time. It's probably pretty dead at that point. Anyone that could have had a Saturday detention is probably gone for the day. I don't know. That would be a pretty long Saturday, I feel like. But anyhow, so that's what it is. Their plan is to get to the high school. We get damage control coming, searching the mosque. We're trying to ensure everyone's safety. I hate this Deaver lady. She's like, we're just trying to ensure everyone's safety. This is a high-level threat. We're looking for a Pakistan or Arabic man, 16 to 25, or 16 to 25, like male. And they're like, you're describing basically everyone here, because when they walk in, they all have their IDs out and stuff. The Sheikh Abdullah, he quotes Abraham Lincoln to Deaver, and she's like, I don't have time for Quranic quotes. And he's like, it was Abraham Lincoln, ma'am. The best part is then they start searching through the rooms, and Nakia's like, whoa, 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 not this room, not this one. This is an invasion of my religion. And Deaver's like, do you really want a, what does she say, like a federal, like crime on your record? That won't look good. And she's like, fine, but and it just turns out to be her boyfriend. It's like hilarious. It for me, I was just like, oh, what a great bait and switch. I love it. I love it. Because she's like, oh, please don't hurt him. And he's just like, hey, everyone. She's like, this is my boyfriend. Hey, do you have that? And he's like, hey, do you have your body cam on? Can I get that footage? Because she just said I was her boyfriend in front of all of you, and you're all witnesses. And so, like, that was just awesome. It was super funny. I love, like, I loved it because then Deaver and the other guy is just like, oh my god, you're annoying, you're annoying high schooler, like you're annoying high school teenager, and it's just so fun, it's so funny. um, and then, but after Damage Control leaves because they don't find anything, Sheik Abdullah brings out Bruno and Cameron and tells them to stay away from Grant. Go this way. You guys need you guys need disguises, and he just gives them like hats. Then we get the alleyway meetup between Kamala, Bruno, and Cameron, and Cameron has his weird powers showing, and like he's like but it's not like the like rocks or the metal, or I shouldn't say the metal, but it's not like the rocks or like the shooting punch or anything that Kamala or any of that is done. It's 100% like a wave. Like it looks like he's almost emitting a wave of some kind is the only way I can describe it. Like, it looks like he's pulsating like Norness out of him, and it's like growing like that. And then he says that he feels like he's being crushed from the inside. Then we get the montage of Damage Control locking down the rest of the city. Bruno and Cameron head to the school. Kamala takes a quick call to the Red Dagger and says, I need Cameron to get out. Can you help me? Yes, I can. Have him at the harbor by midnight. I'll take care of the rest. So that's what, she does. Harbor by midnight. They get to the school, finally. They meet up with Nakia. And Kamala and Nakia, like Nakia's like, hey, nice stitching, made in Pakistan. And Kamala's like, are you mad at me? Like Nakia's like, I tell you everything, and this is the biggest thing to ever happen to you, and you didn't tell me. So yeah, maybe. And then Kamala's like, but you kind of hate superheroes. I didn't want you to hate me. And like Nakia's like, what? Like gives her the what, and Kamala's like, I know you wouldn't hate me, but like I messed up. I messed up, and I am sorry. So it's good. They make up because I like Nakia. Like I like Nakia a lot as Kamala's like girlfriend, like best friend, girlfriend, like confidant in like that situation and stuff. So like I've always liked their relationship and stuff. I've thought that that's always been a good friendship there. So I didn't want like it to truly like disintegrate away like in a lot of cases that it could, and have her become like some sort of like nemesis to like Kamala. So I like that they didn't do that, that they allowed the makeup to happen here. And then then we get like the Home Alone basically of it all, of Kamala making the game plan of how they are going to get Cameron like out of there, and how they're going to leave and all of this. And it's really awesome. Like Cameron's like, hey, I don't want any of you, like they're inside the school in the hallway during the lockers here, and they're starting to make the game plan, and Cameron's like, I don't want any of you to stay here and get hurt. I want you all to leave. Like, I want you all to leave because I don't want any of you to get hurt. They're only looking for me. Like, I can take care of this myself. And, like, Kamala's like, no, 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 no. We are staying. We are going to have Bruno and Nakia leave so that they don't get caught up in this. And and this whole thing is shot in a circle. It's going around. It's very much so shot like the Dark Knight scene, the rooftop scene between Batman, Harvey Dent, and Jim Gordon, where Dent's like, if you would have just told me where the banks were, I would have been able to stop him. I could have taken his passport. Now Lau's all the way out in China, and then Gordon's like, well, once your office got involved, and it was all this, and Batman is basically just like, if I get Lau back to you, can you make him talk? And Harvey Dent's like, I'll make him sing. That whole scene, like the way that they shoot it in a very circular manner, is exactly done like right here, and it was really awesome to see. And then they break that, and it's just like on Bruno now, and he's like, well, they blew up my apartment. That was, the Circle Q in my apartment kind of exploded, so don't really got anything, so I'm gonna stay right now. And Nakia's like, they invaded the mosque twice. And then out of nowhere, out of completely left field, we get Zoe, who we haven't seen. I mean, to be fair, episodes 4 and 5 were taking place in Pakistan and like taking, time traveling a little bit. And so what we get here is Zoe showing up out of nowhere. Well, I mean, yeah, showing up out of nowhere because we probably haven't seen her since like maybe episode 2. I don't remember if she's in episode 3 at all. But we don't. This is the first time we've seen her in forever, and apparently she shoots her TikToks in the theater because it has really good lighting. Who knew? And Zoe's like, and they tried to force me to like give you up, and again I ask like, what the WTF, what are you doing here, Zoe? We get the answer of the good lighting and everything, but to be fair, Zoe's like, hey, I owe you for saving my life at Avengers Con, like let me help. So that's like neat. Like, that's nice that that all this time too, Zoe has known that Kamala was like Nightlight or whatever, and still hasn't given her up. Even when pressed by like damage control and stuff, we all saw that interrogation. So that was, that's cool. It's again interesting that we haven't seen her brought up again, especially if she's like this much so like, I got your back. I don't know, whatever. But I guess in the end they have established that they are in, that she has moved, that Zoe moved beyond them when she became like a viral sensation or whatever. So it is what it is. But then we get the like Home Alone like planning it all of Kamala being like, distract and stall, get Cameron out. Amir shows up and is like, Mom sent me, blame her. It's not my fault. I'm just here to help. So they're like, all right, we got to get supplies. They break into lockers and stuff. They grab hoodies and different red ball caps so that they can all virtually look uniform, all wearing red hoodies and a baseball cap. Then Kamala and Bruno go to the science lab, start mixing some chemicals together, and grab a one of the skeletons that, like, one of the model skeletons that I don't know, most science or like anatomy or whatever type classes have. And so we have that. We also have them all getting fire extinguishers. One in particular get of a fire extinguisher is done by Zoe, which is extremely hilarious because she tries like busting it and it's just like the worst bust ever. Like she just didn't break it, and then she kind of like starts picking at pieces, and then she eventually reaches in there and gets it. It's a really funny. It's a pretty funny gag. I like it's a funny bit. I love it. Like it. I do enjoy it. And I do find it funny that they chose her to like struggle with it, of course. Um, but it that that was just semi funny. They eventually get the question, like they go back then to Kamala, like explaining the plan in front of like the blackboard as she's slowly drawing it all out. And Nakia asked the question because Kamala was just like, and Zoe, you played softball, so you can get us access or whatever to it, and we need a bunch of softballs. And Nakia raises it, Kamala's done, and it's like, any questions? Nakia's like, so we're going to stop damage control with softballs? And Kamala's like, no, we're going to stall damage control with softballs. The real plan is Zoe. Damage control, we get a cut to damage control, then getting ready surrounding the school. Because that's always a great idea when a government... That's... Ooh, Deaver, you were doing some things. So yeah, damage control gets ready outside of the high school. We get Deaver calling to her CO. And he's like, there is a such thing as bad press, and this is the definition of it, and it keeps getting worse for us. So what are we doing here? And Deaver's just like, there's two of them leaving a trail of destruction behind them. I need 3 more minutes, and I need 3 more minutes, and we'll be able to like get them done. And they're like, eventually, her CO is just like, nope, don't call it. And there's a call across the comm from one of like Deaver's men, like on site. Do we have the green light to go? And her CO was like, don't do it, don't call it, like pack up everything and let's go. And she hangs up and tells them, and Deaver goes against her CO's wishes and calls in for additional troops, and they move in. Then we get Zoe and Nakia talking, and Nakia's like, so you knew and you didn't say anything. It's not like you, to be fair. Like, you have your whole YouTube thing, 80,000 followers and all of that. Like, you do it. So you talk a lot. And Zoe, to be fair, is like, Kamala saved my life at Avengers. Kind of that, like I owe her. And she's Zoe's also like, Kamala should also be able to tell the world who she is when she is ready. I respect that for her, and definitely a lot more since Kamala saved her. Just because Kamala wants to be a superhero who saves people and like wants to do that, and it's the right thing to do, and she's trying to do all that. So like, it's great, and it's a great response from Zoe that somebody who really for the most part they've only played up to be like pretty superficial and not like much more worried than like her followers or having so many followers and all of that. So it was all really cool. It was all really great. And I also like that, Zoe has, she has that initial thing with basically everybody, Cameron, Bruno, like when she's like, hey, I'm here and I'm willing to help. But like right here, this is a more intimate one with Nakia, who is obviously like playing defense and like buffer of like her best friend and stuff, being like, what are your intentions here? Like how sincere are you? Because like what you're doing goes against like everything that like we know you to be, and why would you do that, or why are you doing that? And we get the answer from Zoe that it's all about like, no, I Kamala saved me. If she is not ready to like announce herself to the like people, I'm not gonna do it. It's also really nice that like, you know, if she does, like, short of like doing it on Kamala's own YouTube channel, like you would assume it would probably happen on Zoe's now. But either way, this Nakia and Zoe conversation is really great. We also get Kamala or Nakia and Zoe, that conversation about Kamala and why you didn't tell is really good. Kamala also then lets Bruno know what happened to Cameron's like mom and like the rest of the clandestines, and we get a great line from Amir. So, not cousin Cameron. What were you doing with my sister? And starts doing like the whole drilling the questions of the boyfriend or boyfriend to be and stuff. And it's so funny. It's so good. And what were you doing there? Driving lessons. Do you and Amir's like, do you even like the Great British Bake Off? And I like, it's just so funny. It's just so good. Her brother, Amir, is also really funny. The actor who plays him is just so good. He's so on point. He plays the older brother like perfectly. He's so good. Bruno does, though, after Kamala like says all of this to like Bruno about like Cameron and the clandestines and everything. Bruno's like, hey, I'm not telling you to lie to it. And he's like, don't tell Cameron until we're gone, until like we're done with this. Then tell him. Don't tell him before, because it can be bad. Is like the is what you can guesstimate from that. Damage control enters the high school here. They've got explosives on the door, and we've got a speaker. We've got a speaker-looking bomb, very similar to the. God, I don't even remember what Bruno called it. But the little like his little Alexa, Google Home, whatever AI thing you want to call those type of devices, has one of those, and it starts playing music, and that's so awesome. Because like the damage control people think that it's a bomb at first. It starts playing music, a disco ball falls, and then they blow it away with with their like sonic like ringular gun or whatever. We get Cameron basically on a balcony that is like looking over this area and being like, oh wow, all of you just for me, like giving the damage control people a little bit of giving them a little bit of razz and stuff, and it's awesome. Then we get, so Cameron starts running. We get Zoe going live, asking for help at the high school, saying that damage control is there while her and her friends are just trying to get out of there. We get another cut then to basically everybody else after Zoe goes live. We get everybody else turning or putting themselves into like the baseball caps and the red hoodies, and they all start running around and start, Operation Home Alone is what I'm going to call it, or Operation Get Cameron Home. And so they get the whole, it's that whole Home Alone energy with some of the one group of the damage control people go into the science lab, and they trip the trick wire, the trip wire, actually I think it's called, yeah, not a trick wire. They trip the trip wire, and it basically, the skeleton basically comes down with a knife on a balloon, pours one set of chemicals into another one and makes the huge, expansive, exploding, not exploding, but hugely like popping out, formulating, and like lava flowing, basically, foam. And it's awesome. It like goes all over the room, knocks a bunch of them out, and like down the stairs and everything, and it's crazy. It's wild. The rest of the team then is still running around in their hoodies and their caps. Kamala and Cameron, excuse me, have a nice moment together while they're hiding like on the like width side, not the length side of the like this portion. I guess this portion or whatever, not the length, whatever. The width of the desk, hiding there. They're holding hands and stuff. And then they get a call on the radio that somebody else is in the east wing. So they're almost caught, and they're holding hands. Their hands kind of start to glow and shine together with each one of their like Nor lights and stuff. They go in for a kiss, to attempt a kiss, and bam, Bruno shows up. He Bruno shows up. It kind of breaks up that moment, but allows Cameron and Kamala to get out of there, and they run away. And Cameron turns before he runs out with Kamala, puts his hand on Bruno's shoulder, and they just like have a dude understanding moment, I guess, for lack of a better thing. He's just like, I'm sorry. And so they run off. Then Bruno throws up his hood, turns on music on his phone, and starts dancing. And man, he gets tossed up into those blinds. The damage control finds him and like beats him around and throws him into the blinds of like the glass that was like dividing that room that the three, Kamala, Cameron, and Bruno, were just in. It is absolutely wild. Nakia is riding a bike throughout like the school and the gym, and has like a fire extinguisher at the on her back end, like just going around, and it's awesome. Like this is like one of the coolest things in the world. We get the awesome bit here too of where Nakia is like riding around on the bike and like crisscrosses so much that two groups of damage control people each shoot their guns at each other, both knocking each other out, which is freaking awesome, like super hilarious. And then we also get then there was a third group there, and that third group is like following Nakia. They hit Nakia. She loses the bike, but she runs, is able to make it through a doorway, and then Amir and Zoe are there, and they are launching the softballs at they are launching the softballs at who am I thinking of? At the damage control people. And Amir's like, yes, it's working. And then, of course, on the other side of that hallway are more doors that they, and when I say they, I mean Team Hoodie here, Team Kamala, did not lock down or keep shut or pry shut or blockade or anything like that. They didn't do none of it. So they get caught and they get thrown up against the wall. And that probably sucks. Then we get a Kamala and Cameron like scene. Cameron's asking about his mom. He's like, I don't want to go to the Red Dagger. I want to go to the Clandestines. I need my mom. Like, what happened? Then they are like, Kamala and Cameron are attacked by damage control. They're able to escape again. Cameron like circles back and is like, "What happened? Tell me, like, what happened?" Kamala's like, "She's pierced the veil. You know, she tried to, tried to destroy us all." Cameron throws like some lockers onto damage control agents and stuff there, and starts like running away. Kamala chases him. There's a big crowd that shows up outside of the school now at this point, and Deaver, like Cameron makes his way outside. Deaver commands Cameron to get down on your knees. Fire. She calls for fire. Firing on him, and Deaver, like, you are an irredeemable character in my eyes. Irredeemable character in my eyes. I really am not a fan of that character in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, Deaver's the worst part of this show. Kamala ends up protecting, Cameron, but like by putting a shield up, then they are hit with with another blast, and that other blast, that other blast like knocks them all backwards and like explodes her like little Norlight shield that she had. And then we get the like downtrodden, like pulling yourself together kind of look for Kamala here, and we get her classic line from her comic run. We get the Embiggen line, which is interesting that they still keep, but it works here for how like she gets they do the same idea here, is that when she says Embiggen here, they wrap the Norlight around her and it gives her some stilts for some height and stuff. She's not necessarily super flexible, like made of rubber or whatever, similar to like how Reed Richards and stuff is, how he's able to stretch and everything. This is a little bit different, or at least I think it's a little bit different, because I mean it is the Norlight for her, and she is able to control her Norlight, and it can extend or come back to her for, I mean, not that it like leaves her yet or will leave her. I have no idea if it ever will, but like she is still able to like harness that very much so. But when we get the Embiggen thing, I really loved it. I really thought it was awesome. Kamala is also, well, actually no, this is great. After she says Embiggen, we also get Kamala and her friends being like, "Whoa!" Like being like, "We didn't know she could do that." Kamala asks some soldiers after like beating up part of their Humvee if the soldiers themselves are okay, and they're like, "Yeah, we're okay, Miss Nightlight." And like Kamala has that like frustration, like, "Oh, not that name, not that name." It's really great. Cameron ends up like in an amazing shot here. Like another really, really, really cool shot here that they do is here with Cameron after he drops down and kicks the damage control agent under the car, and how it then like crawls under and then lifts up as Cameron does, and it's awesome. It's so cool. It is such a cool shot, and I just love it. I just love it so much. Then we get the Cameron, after that shot with Cameron kicking it, we get Cameron then walking away and is starting to basically like terrorize the group and everything. Like he throws a car that Kamala is able to stop, and he's like, "They'll never be able to accept us, like this is not my home," and Kamala's like, "Your mother sent everything she had to you to save you and protect you. Like everything, um, Cameron's like, well, what do I do with everything that I've done? Like, what do I do? How can I be normal? And Kamala's like, there is no normal, just us and what we do with what we've been given. And Kamala's like, let's get you to the harbor. Uh, and I will help you, help escort you and get you to the harbor, and that's what she does. They basically bury a hole there that Cameron's able to escape and get out of, and the crowd breaks the barrier as like the dome that Cameron and Kamala were in, where Kamala was like talking to him and talking him down, and like getting the best result of him going with the Red Daggers to be protected by them, and helped by them, and maybe even trained in other ways by them. And it's really exciting that they did this. It's so cool that they did it. I love it. But the crowd breaks through the barriers, and they surround themselves around Kamala. The police even make a line that stops damage control before getting to the citizens, and therefore before getting to Kamala. Damage control walks up and then just like pushes right on by, like doesn't even care at all about it. But in this like hesitation, haste, or whatever, Kamala is able to shoot up and start running on her Norlight discs so that she can get out of there. We get the Devers call, and we get her CEO being like, "Don't say anything, don't do anything, just get out. You went against my orders publicly. You attacked kids using our name. You're right. You are relieved of your duty, and someone is going to be fixing your mess." This was all super sweet. I loved it. And then we got the social media, basically. Because once Kamala leaves, the crowd is there, Cameron's gone. After this Devers call, then her CEO is like, "You attacked kids using our name. You levied you were relieved of your duty, and someone is going to fix your mess." Then we get the like social media, everyone doing their TikToks or whatever, like Facebook Lives or whatever it is that they're doing of like, I thought that this was really awesome because it felt very relevant and now, of like Kamala like saving everybody and all of this fight that was going on and everything like that. We get Kamala then turning around, like she takes her eyes away from her phone, she turns and she looks at herself in the mirror, and she like straightens herself out, and she's very proud of her like costume that her mother made for her and everything like that. And it's a great suit. It's awesome. It totally works. I love every little bit of it. And I don't know what else to say. I just love it. And then we get Kamala and her dad sitting on the roof, and her dad's like, what's the new superhero called? And she's like, I am still trying to figure that out. And then her dad starts having a really nice conversation with Kamala. Save people, Kamala. Like, you saved people. You saved lives. If you saved one life, you have saved the world. We get a cut in with Amir, Nakia, and Cameron with their stories. Like, Amir is just retelling everything about trying to do this or that. Nakia is actually at the mosque trying to get is actually at the mosque trying to get all of that stuff situated and done, and updated, getting all the mold and all that stuff like up and out and like completed. And then we also get Cameron showing up in, showing up in the restaurant with the red dagger, and him going like on his way. You know, but we get a cut back then to all of this is intercut with like the Amir stuff and the Nakia stuff and the Cameron stories. But then we get her dad. I wanted to refocus on this. Like her dad, is like, did you know why we named you Kamala? After your brother, we tried for years. We had almost lost hope, all hope. Then you came, and he's like, Beta, like you were so perfect. And in Kamala in Arabic means perfect, but in Yurdi, it's more like wonder or marvel. And Kamala is like means Marvel. Like I share a name with Carol freaking Danvers, and her dad's just like chuckling around. He's like, I don't know who that is, but you have always been our Miss Marvel. And then Kamala like runs off and starts hopping away, and her dad is like, magic, absolute magic. And it's an awesome line to hear from her dad. It is great to see. Then we cut back with Kamala, and she's sitting on the light post, like a classic kind of like look for her. Then we get the 1 week later title card. Bruno is leaving. They're all like, hey, Cameron left his car here, so I'm driving it, is what Cameron says. I'm the one moving like super far and to California and stuff, so I'm gonna take it. And Nakia's like, who says you get to take it? And it's a really great like back and forth of like who's gonna take the car, who's gonna drive the car, and all of that. And Bruno's like, it's okay, I'm only like X miles away from you, it won't be that bad. And then I we get Bruno then pulling Kamala aside, saying that Amir kept asking me if like he had powers or anything like that. So I started like recomparing all of your family's DNA and all of your genetics, and it is really I started like sitting up a little bit when I heard this. I was like, "You're checking out genetics, eh?" And it's so great. I swear at this point then we get Bruno being like, I compared your DNA with the rest of your families, and you have something different outside of the Bengal, something different outside of the North. You have a mutation in your genes. Pump the brakes there, kid. X-Men mutants are now MCU official. That's just like so awesome. And I swear I heard a faint little bit of the X-Men animated series from the 90s, that first one. I know we're getting the sequel to it, X-Men 97. But that I swear I heard a little bit of that opening title sequence, that opening credit sequence to that show here. Then we get the I swear we got it, but then the episode ends and we get the because Bruno's leaving to go to Caltech, and they're just like, hey, have fun, dude, like I hope you enjoy yourself, and like they're seeing him off basically. We get a mid-credit scene of Kamala wearing the bangle. She falls on the bed, and the bangle starts to glow. And like it starts to glow. She stands up, like being like, "Huh, that's weird." Then it like kind of does this like apparating thing. Is the only way I can describe it visually, is because you saw it in Harry Potter that way. Is that she does something like that here basically, and is thrown backwards into her closet. And when she gets up, wait a second, it is not Kamala Khan. Who is it? Brie Larson. Ooh. So that was awesome. Seeing Brie Larson, and she was like, "Oh no, oh no 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 no," and then just like runs off screen. She's there for less than a minute, and it was really awesome. It was really great to see her in there. I like that they were building towards the Marvels movie and everything like that now. This is really great because then the next thing is that they put up that title card of Miss Marvel will return in the Marvels. But personally, I think we saw some of this already. When Kamala first puts on the bangle in episode 1, and I'm talking about like what her apparating or whatever, similar to the Harry Potter stuff, and I wonder if this is related to the first episode where at the end when she puts the bangle on and then she falls backward and she's in that whole other like realm dimension thing that looks like just kind of blacked out creatures with like or humanoid type people and or creatures with just like white eyes and everything, like kind of staring at everything like that. I thought that this like now transfer might be like more of a complete, or like that first thing might have like started it, initiated it, or whatever. Now using the bangle as much as Kamala has and putting as much stress through it, I wonder if something activated then that allowed that transfer to happen. Either way, I just love this show. I've loved it so much. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and I am going to go ahead and get out of here. I am Jimmy with the Triple C Collective. I want to thank you all for joining me here on this Superhero Saturday for the Miss Marvel finale, No Normal. I hope you all stay safe. Have a great day.